And we are live, all in game day, live from Philip Sheridan Senior Field here in Rutherford. Hawthorne at St. Mary's. Kurt Valenti, Jennifer Valenti, how are you?
I'm well. Good afternoon. It's officially afternoon, right? I can say good afternoon.
It is.
We are here on a balmy, steamy Saturday. We've been here since Saturday morning getting set up. I got to tell you, it's our first game day of the year, and as soon as you get here, it's just so exciting. This is what fall sports are all about. These teams preparing. We got both teams taking the field, getting ready to warm up.
I'm not going to lie, Jen. This is where, I feel like I haven't been coaching in a while, but game day now, I'm ready to get my play sheet, go up in the scaffold over there and get ready. It brings back a lot of memories, and I'm fired up for this.
I know game days as a coach are the best. It's where everything, all that hard work you've put in hopefully comes to fruition on the field. But it's just great to be back out here. Great to see both teams. We want to give a special thank you to Coach Johnson at St. Mary's, really hooking us up today, getting us everything we need so we can make this fly, and his staff and players. And of course, I did get to catch up with Coach Becerra of Hawthorne. We'll get to hear his comments a little bit later as well. So we want to thank him and his staff as well for accommodating us and helping us make this game day possible.
A couple comments. Our good friend, good afternoon, everyone, and happy Saturday, Jen and Kurt. And there is Coach Breslin saying, awesome, looks great.
Oh, so, well, you know what? When you get the okay from Coach Breslin, the tech who's helped us a lot in the past. So thanks, Coach.
And thank you, Coach Breslin, for I don't know what we call that.
You can see it, our little banner in the front there. So, but when you get the thumbs up from Coach Breslin, that's a good feeling.
Listen,
that's a good feeling. So
that's
thanks,
you're,
Coach.
there. As we can see, both teams are on the field. St. Mary's O-line has just come out. They're being their full stretch right now. They're ready to go. Hawthorne is out still in their specials. And again, we're looking forward to a big game, NJIC, like you mentioned, Jen. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm tagging while we're doing it, so it's like I'm off of a little thing here.
Tagging, and I'm actually going to bring in our. We have some Friday night results that before we get in today's matchup details. We got some results just scrolling across the board there of the games that we picked. Of course, there was a lot more action.
And let me tell you what I mean. Upsets last night, a couple shocking, shocking scores. We'll get into them a little, we'll get into them a little.
We'll dive in, of course, on Tuesday night, our show, even more so, but we'll chat a little bit about them. Now, I was trying to think, what am I going to start with, right? So I'm going to go right for it. I'm going to go to Bergen Catholic.
Yeah.
I'm going to say surprising, 61-21 loss to Chaminade Madonna in Florida.
Yeah.
You previewed them on our show last week, the studs Division I recruits that they have, commits on their team. And you also pointed out traveling to Florida, right? That kind of put at a disadvantage.
Weather,
so, exactly. So they were contending with a lot of things already going into that
and again, nothing, listen, everything that Bergen Catholic still wants to do is in front of them. Obviously, number one team in the state, in a state league championship, state championship. But listen, you got to tip your hat to Chaminade. The receiver, the kid Smith, who's going to Ohio State, I think he was 16 receptions, 315 yards, 3 touchdowns. It's hey.
When you're doing that against another national powerhouse, and again, you make a great point. You know what? And we always say this. You and I have the discussion from a coaching perspective, to face that adversity a little early in the season. Yeah. I'm sure Coach Campanelli will use it to fuel his team to, reach the goals that they've set for the remainder.
And there's our
the
good
season.
friend, Ryan Scoop Woodhams. I hope one day my wife and I are as legendary of a sports duo as the Valente. Thank you, Scoops. Hope all is well. Another surprise, Jen, I'm going to throw one out here.
Yep.
Ultapan defeating Northern Highlands. We kept saying you can't pick against Northern Highlands and Coach Cord until they get beat. But Coach Dunn and Ultapan went on the road, jumped out to a big lead. I believe it was a 21-0 lead. And then it was a stalemate in the second half. But hey, congratulations to Northern Highlands. What an unbelievable. It's okay. You come here. What's going on? How are you? Good to see you.
Old stomping ground,
good.
so we're going to see some. Hello, how are you?
We're good. We got one of the
come around the back.
Come around. You say hello. We're live here.
We are
live here on All In Game Day.
How are we doing All In Game Day?
Let's go. We got to make our official pick in a little bit. Hawthorne. So Coach is here. How's everything going?
Everything is good. They called me out of retirement. I'm on the mic today.
There you go.
Very nice.
Go. Good seeing you, Coach.
Good luck today.
All right. So that was our first live.
I love it.
Live yesterday. We love it.
Live game day the best. Yep. I'm going to jump to another game really quickly before we get into here. I'm going to go with the Clifton Ridgewood matchup. I don't know if I'm going to call it an upset.
No.
I think we went into, predicted that game on Tuesday, gave our predictions, and it was just going to be a good game as we felt. And Clifton victorious at Ridgewood on the road, 28-21.
A couple comments coming in. Kenny, Ramapo blowing out Wayne Hills the way they did.
Yeah.
Listen, I did say it was going to get ugly.
You did. Actually, on Tuesday night, both you and Kenny, I believe, thought it was going to be a little more lopsided. I thought maybe just because of that rivalry, they would, So, but yeah, again,
our good friend Rob Neely and our sponsors from the Smoky Beards. Keep up the good work, guys. Got to jump off and watch Coach Prime get handed his first look. I don't know about that one, Neely. Thank you for checking in. And our great friend and co-host of the K&K Sports Show, Mr. Rosen. Great job, Valenti's. Want to give a shout out to Luby and also Paul's mom. Yep. So I want to give a shout out and thoughts are with everybody.
Yeah. And thank you for watching and checking in. We do appreciate it. All right. Do any more other scores you want to highlight before we move on to our next agenda?
I'm going to give you a little sleeper team that's out there, Jen, and that's Lyndhurst. They had a big win over New Milford. Both teams were 1-0, and I said it. I'll say it again. Bellinger, Marino, that combination. They're now 2-0 in the league. It's going to set up a big one in 2 weeks, I believe. No look aheads, but a big one. It's going to be Lyndhurst, Waldwick, I believe, to get out of that division.
And the one other game I did want to mention was the Pope John Paramus Catholic game.
Yes.
Right? High scoring, 47-40, Pope John winning at Paramus Catholic. We had predicted that would be a little bit of a test. I love it. You got the kids in the back.
Oh, yeah, they're ready to go.
This is the atmosphere we love. Like I said, it really makes you miss it.
And again, I love it. I mean, hopefully today we may get, just so you know, we're going to show a couple of videos. You did a great job behind the scenes interviews, Coach Passero, a couple of St. Mary's. We're going to have something from our intern, Gabby Higgins, and maybe be joined by the legendary Coach Sheridan himself.
We can,
so Coach Tester's was the first one to come on, but we will see if we get Coach Sheridan here, hopefully to just get his pick, keys to the game, and talk about the field being named in honor of his dad, Philip Sheridan Senior Field.
All right, well, let's get into today's matchup a little bit. As we said, we are here at St. Mary's.
Oh, Kenny's saying something, and we gotta give a shout out. How about the boys at Becton? Our boys, we were there last week on Monday. Coach Marr, Coach Longo, Coach McGuire, Coach Ross. We stopped and saw them. They said they have to play better. It was a little close early with Lodi, but then they pulled away from Lodi.
Yep. Thank you for mentioning that one as well, right? And stay tuned for our intern, Sean Healy, with his All In on Becton Sports.
Coach Breslin's asking, saying, are we going to see student body right QB lead? The Gaels sweep will be run today. I can promise you that, Coach. The Gaels sweep will be run.
All right, so let's officially get into today's matchup. So let's do a little status of the programs here so far this season.
Okay.
So we have St. Mary's entering today's contest with a record of 1-1. They had a week 0 game victory against Garfield, and last week they took on Park Ridge for their first loss, so they enter at 1-1. Any comments on those, Kurt?
Again, a nice opening win at Garfield. We picked them at Park Ridge, and listen, Park Ridge showed who Park Ridge was last night by going into Woodridge and beating Coach Catrona and the Blue Devils 38-0. Park Ridge is the real deal. Listen, St. Mary's hung with Park Ridge early, and Park Ridge, I believe, probably the best team right now in that NJIC. So, hey, nothing to be ashamed about with that week 2 win. This is a big game for St. Mary's today. It's a big win, the conference. So, listen, Coach Johnson has this team, like we said, on the road back to this dominant program, all the confidence in the world in Coach Johnson. You could see this is a very, very talented St. Mary's team.
I'm just going to piggyback off that comment because, we had a chance to catch up with 4 of the St. Mary's players this week, and you say all the confidence in the world in Coach Johnson. You know what? You could tell his players have the confidence in him, and there's really something good going on at St. Mary's, for football. So it's really nice to see. And Hawthorne enters today's contest with a record of 1-0 with a week 1 victory over North Arlington.
Yeah, again, a closer, maybe a little closer than Hawthorne wanted. But I'm going to tell you, this team is a physical team. They're a very senior-laden team. A lot of kids came back from last year, and just looking at these kids, Jen, they're big, they're physical. And listen, and that's the kind of game they're going to want to play. We'll get into the breakdown of the game and keys to the game, but this Hawthorne team, they might want to spread you a little, but they want to run it right down your throat. They're a very, very physical team. And again, this is going to be a very, it's going to be a competitive game today.
Yeah. So we did have a chance to catch up with Coach Passero. So, we're going to pull in our video clips with him, but just a little, what he's going to highlight a little bit. He does have a very senior heavy team coming in.
Yep.
So a lot of experience. He mentions a lot of players who have 3 years varsity experience. So we did have the opportunity to catch up with him, not just about his team, but what he was looking, how he was preparing for St. Mary's as well.
Okay, let's see. Let's watch the interview with Coach Passero.
We are joined by Hawthorne football coach John Passero. Coach Passero's Bears are off to a 1-0 start after an impressive Week 1 victory over North Arlington. Coach, congrats on your opening day victory, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Oh, thank you for having me. It was a great team victory, and we're looking forward to Week 2.
Awesome. Your team boasts a roster that includes many experienced seniors. Who are some of the players that helped lead your team through preseason and into Week 1?
We have a very big senior class. I believe it's 15 total, of which I believe 9 started on offense and 9 started on defense. We have 3-year players in Dominic Pizarro, Cormac Smith, Gavin Alvarez, Jake Brzezinski on the line. It's not just one guy. I know I named 4 or 5. Logan Sakir. There's just a bunch of guys that have done a tremendous job, not only in the on the field, but also in the practice room. We are trying to get a lot of kids who are younger ready for varsity football, and they're working hard.
Nice. And my next question for you, Coach, is a 2-parter. First, what are some strengths of the St. Mary's team that you're going to face on Saturday? And then following up to that, what are your keys to victory in this matchup?
Well, I think it starts with number 3, their running back. He had a tremendous game against Garfield, and he backed it up with another good game against Park Ridge. I think their skills are very skillful, and they have a nice size line for a Group 1 school. I throw out numbers a lot. Number 77 and 74 are 2 rather big human beings that we're going to have to account for on offense and the defensive lines for them. Number 9 and 5 are very dynamic in the open field. The quarterback does a great job of getting the ball to his guys, and number 3 is he has a chance to go for a score every time he touches the ball. As far as us, our game plan is going to try to be to play more like we played in the first half against North Arlington the entire game. I thought the second half North Arlington kind of took it to us, and we had to recover an onside kick to beat a North Arlington team. I just think we need to stay consistent offensively and defensively, and make St. Mary's drive on us, make them not one play touchdowns. We gave up a couple big plays to North Arlington, and if we can limit that, and just stay within the plan, I think we'll have a good shot on Saturday afternoon.
Great, Coach. Once again, thank you so much. I know how busy you are. We really appreciate your time tonight, and best of luck to you and the team on Saturday.
Thank you so much again for having me.
Our pleasure. All right, as we said, Coach Passero looking ahead to today's game, highlighting some of his players and what he's preparing for in this matchup with St. Mary's. Before we move on to catching up with the St. Mary's players, we just want to take a moment and thank our sponsors. We have some in the, correct me, the town, is it East Rutherford?
Yes.
East Rutherford. We have Cafe Roma, a great little place to catch some coffee, and Red's Restaurant. And there's a Red's Restaurant in, is that Carlstadt?
Yes.
Carlstadt. There is a location in Newark, and they also are the owners of the Roosevelt in East Rutherford.
Yeah, I'd just like to talk again. Yeah. We always pass by the cafe on Park Avenue. It's always popping there.
Yes,
so
yeah.
Please jump in on there. And Reds, listen, we grew up going, hey, when you talk about Reds, you talk about pregame Jets Giants. Obviously, I'm a Bronco fan, so we would go to, last time we went to a Jets Bronco game, you get on the Red shuttle, you have a little food there, and they take you to MetLife Stadium.
And I don't want to be remiss to mention our other ones as well. We say use our, at beginning of our show and maybe even during the show, GGG, which is Girls Got Game. We've covered the growth of girls flag football a lot here on All In on High School Sports, and GGG is just giving them the platform to grow their game even more. Modern travel professionals and Smoky Beard as well. So we'll want to give them the notoriety and thank you for the support for us as well. All right, we're going to get ahead into
Coach Breslin saying Doug Palsy, owner great guy, and Coach Breslin coached him.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Excellent. And I believe his son is the
quarterback for this year's team. Yes.
And if we had him, our Sean Healy was able to catch up with him ahead of their game last night.
I want to give a shout out to Coach Siciliano, one of our good friends, and he was also a coach here at St. Mary's, and he would love it here right now. You know why? Because they are playing his favorite song, "Hypnotized" by Biggie. So when I heard that, I thought of Coach Siciliano.
Oh, maybe that's a little good omen.
It's
for
a good
St.
omen.
Mary's.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see. So we had the opportunity to catch up with 4 St. Mary's juniors, 2 running backs, Nasir Owens and Damian Merkerson, wide receiver Kazir White, and quarterback Brad Higgins ahead of the game to talk a little bit about their thoughts heading into this game, and also kind of the status of their program getting back to championship form. So let's check in with them. And we are joined by 4 juniors on the St. Mary's football team. I'd like to introduce you to Nasir Owens, Damian Merkerson, Brad Higgins, and Kazir White. They are currently off to a 1-1 start, and we're talking to them ahead of their game against Hawthorne being played this Saturday. Nasir, I'm going to start with you. St. Mary's has traditionally had a pounding and effective run game. How important is it for this year's team to establish that ground game as well?
It's very important for us, since St. Mary's really a running team. You know what I'm saying? We're going to bring the heat this game. So, it's very important.
Nice.
I'm going to go to Damian. Damian, you're a big-time contributor on both sides of the ball. Hawthorne is a senior-laden team. Their offense can do a little of both, run the ball, they could throw the ball. From a defensive perspective, what are the keys to slowing down this Hawthorne offense?
I mean, they have a lot of very physical players, actually. They have a very amount of physical players. But to prove of our film study and our going over our game plan, we have enough players, athletic players, much more football knowledge players to help stop their offensive game.
Awesome. And Brad, I'm going to come to you, Brad. In your first 2 games against Garfield and Park Ridge, it seems like you guys have big play potential. How important is it for you guys to capitalize on those big play opportunities against Hawthorne?
Very important, because they don't happen all the time. So for us to just capitalize on those and take advantage of it is pretty important.
Nice.
Okay, and I'm gonna go to Kazir. Kazir, you are a very exciting player. You're a player that can go the distance anytime you touch the ball. What that does is that creates excitement, right? You guys were on the road for 2 weeks. Now you're home in front of your fans. Do you hope the crowd can bring that energy in your home opener? And what would you like to say to the crowd that's going to be there today?
I do believe the St. Mary crowd will bring the energy. I would love for everybody in the school to come out, because they came all the way to Park Ridge to come watch us play. It didn't end out how we wanted to, but they was there. They was there for us to thick and thin. So, it's a home game, so we will want them to be there. And I'm pretty sure if they got our back, they can be there and make big contributors, a big plays, all that.
Awesome. Guys, one question for all of you before we finish up. We've had Coach Johnson on the program, a couple of different times. It's funny. I always say to Kurt, I'd love to play for Coach Johnson, right? He's passionate about bringing this program back to its championship form. We wanted to ask each of you, what does it mean to be part of doing that? Why don't we go Kazir, then Damian, then Brad, then Nasir. Kazir, how does it feel to be part of that?
It feels real good to be coached by Coach Johnson, because he really cares. There's not a lot of coaches that care about their kids. They just want them to go bang heads and go bang heads with other people. He cares about mental health, physical health, everything. He's a great person. He's a great father, great coach. Great. He's good at what he's doing.
Nice. How about you, Damian?
Coach Johnson is very, very, he's been there for everything. For the team, for his players, even for his coaching staff. He has volunteered for everything. He gave his all out for the players, also his coaching staff, everything for St. Mary's to help redeem this program to go to our championship level. He has done an excellent job too.
Nice. How about you, Brad? How do you feel about being part of bringing that back to its form?
I feel it feels really good to be able to do this because I'm not really that much of a football guy. I'm more of a baseball player. So just being able to be with these guys and have fun with them. Coach Johnson's teaching me a lot. It's really, I like it a lot. So
Nice. And Nasir, how about you?
I'm really pick up what everybody said. You know what I'm saying? Coach Johnson really like offside the football side. He really like a father to me. Like he tells me things that I need to know. He teaches me things that I need to know. And like training wise, like he really push people to the limits and show their true potential. And like Coach Johnson really like he's really a good coach, a real great coach. And I'm proud to be on this level. I'm proud to be on this team. I gotta say thank you to all my teammates because they're a part of it too. Because they push me too. When I feel like I'm down, they bring me up. They push me. My line push me too. Everybody there, I just love the community.
That's awesome. Guys, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We would be remiss if we didn't wish you luck in the game on Saturday before we let you go. We really appreciate your time and good luck to you.
Good luck, guys, versus Hawthorne on Saturday.
Thank you. So great to catch up with the St. Mary's players there and talk about their program and, give the shout outs to their coach and their teammates as well. Really nice to see from those players.
And you know what, Jen? You could just see how much these kids want to be part of this past championship tradition and building this program back. And again, that's all the credit's got to go to Coach Johnson for that. You got to believe from the head coach down, and these kids believe in him, believe in the assistant coaches, and believe on what they're going to do. So
Absolutely.
Unbelievable job.
Well, as we're here live, from football pregame, we have expanded our content a lot this fall, and we are devoting specific shows to specific high schools. And we happen to have an intern, Gabby Higgins from St. Mary's, who is hosting her own show. So she did an episode, not this past week, but the week before. Well, Coach Johnson was actually her guest, and we wanted to chat with her a little bit about, St. Mary's, what it's like to be a student at St. Mary's, why she was interested in doing this
what's to come.
And exactly and what's to come. So look for her weekly, hosting her, covering all things St. Mary's sports, and let's see what she had to say about being a student. And we are joined now by our All In on St. Mary's sports intern, Gabby Higgins. Hi, Gabby. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so happy to have you. We're interviewing you instead of you interviewing a guest this time. We're flipping the script on you, literally.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us. Gabby, for our audience that's watching, will be hosting a weekly show, All In, as I said, on St. Mary's Sports. Well, she started her first show by interviewing Coach Johnson from the football team, and we're hoping to get her to interview some players, other coaches, and cover St. Mary's sports all year round. So looking forward to that, Gabby. You just started this week at St. Mary's, a transfer from Immaculate Conception of Lodi, which did close down, as we know. I'm just wondering, what made you choose St. Mary's?
I chose to go to St. Mary's because at first, majority of our softball team, we all wanted to travel together along with our coach. So once we heard the news the day of, we all saw each other. We were already hanging out together, and our coach, she saw our whole entire family just together, and she was like, okay, you know what? She got it rolling. So all of us decided to go to St. Mary's together, and majority of us, and it became just a family. We wanted to bring our family into another family just to create more of a bond and just give them what we can also provide for them.
Oh, that's so nice to hear. We have, Kurt coached at St. Mary's. We've had several of the coaches on, and that word family is always what comes up. Yep. So it's really nice to hear that you felt that where you were, and that's part of the reason you wanted to be there. So you've been there for, I think, 2 full days now. How's it been so far?
So far, I'm loving it. The teachers teach. You can see people they're all friendly, and it's perfect already. And The classes are very challenging, but for me, like that's what I want, and because it only prep me for the future. So I'm already loving it.
That's great.
That's great. And again, like Jen said, you are our intern for All In on St. Mary Sports. And going forward, we're going to be looking to do a weekly show where Gabby's going to host it for all sports, not only football, but for all sports, trying to get coaches, ADs, other coaches and stuff like that. So I guess two-part question. What makes you, like, what got you into doing like the communications, doing like sports broadcasting, and how excited are you to be doing this All In on St. Mary's show every week?
So again, I'm a softball player, and I grow up watching softball, and I see all like these sports broadcasters, and they're just like their sisters or just like of a player on the softball team, and I see them like how they're doing it, and I'm like, you know what, that would be amazing to do. So then once I heard about this internship and I got started with that, I got so beyond excited because it's like now I'm able to give everybody an opportunity to see what St. Mary's is all about and like their sports and like what they have to offer, what they preach and everything. So I just love this opportunity.
That's awesome. And we are equally excited to have you, Gabby. It's been a pleasure to work with you already. Let's talk a little bit about your softball season coming up. What are your, you were able to, you're still with your coach and, but you guys return a lot of players, but you're kind of combining with some new players as well. So what are your goals and expectations for the softball season in the spring?
Definitely, we have high expectations already because again, we are joining with some players. We have some of our returners. We also have some transfers. So as of right now, it's looking very, very good for us, and it'll be a very good season. Definitely goals, just again to create more of a family bond, and then of course get that state title. Of course.
And I don't want to overlook, how much hard work you put in the off season for softball. You train year round. Want to just tell us a little bit about the club team that you play with and the commitment and maybe even like, some colleges, college showcases you've been doing?
Of course. So I play on the club team, New Jersey Venom, and it's again all year round. So like we have a fall season and a summer season, and like the spring season, that'll be our high school season. So once high school ends, that's when club starts right up. So again, like every year, like we have winter workouts for both high school and club team, and it's just every day. There's always going to be a practice I have, whether it's fielding, hitting, my own team practice, high school practice, club practice, and it's just like for me, it's like an all year round thing that I personally love to do, and it's just a lot of work goes into it and dedication, especially where I want to go. And like for like the tournaments that we play in, like I know this year I'm going to Virginia Beach in the fall. That's where I'm ending with. This past summer I was at Myrtle, and like for a bunch of other teams I was even on, we traveled to Georgia, and there was some Colorado. Just we travel a lot especially during club to play softball.
Nice.
Awesome. Now we're going to ask you the two most important questions of this interview.
Okay.
Number one, has anybody yet either said to you, hey, are you the girl on the podcast, or you're the girl that does that St. Mary's podcast? Has anybody said that to you yet?
Yes, a couple people actually.
Good.
That's awesome.
That's what we want. We want to push them. We want to make sure people know. So that's number
Kurt
one.
is very happy that
I'm very happy that answer is yes.
A couple
And
people.
number two, we need a prediction for today's game between Hawthorne and St. Mary's.
St. Mary's, of course. I have St. Mary's.
There we go.
There you
Awesome. Go. Gabby, thank you so much for joining us. Please look for Gabby in the week ahead and for her weekly show covering St. Mary's sports. Thanks so much, Gabby.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, Gabby's the student at St. Mary's.
And we are back live. And yes, this is the legendary man, Coach Sheridan. He has been grateful to join us tonight. St. Mary's kids are fired up right now. But again, former head coach, Hall of Famer, Coach Sheridan, state championship 2006 head coach. Thank you, Coach, for joining us for a couple of minutes. And we want to talk about, we'll get his game pick in a second, but more importantly for now, Tambling Field has now been renamed Philip Sheridan Senior Field in honor of Coach's dad. So we just want Coach to talk about it for a couple of minutes and talk about how honored you are to have that done.
Oh, yeah, it's a great honor. My whole family is excited. people are going to be coming in when we do the official dedication, but it's all been unanimously voted by the town, mayor, council. You know, when you get to the history of my father, I didn't even realize it. I just knew him as Dad, you know, a down-to-earth guy. But when you look at the fact that he was, as an athlete at St. Mary's, he was a first-team All-State in 3 sports: football, basketball, baseball.
I mean, you do one All-State, and and now you're doing 3.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the history of St. Mary's Athletic. Those guys back in 1930s, there were 2 guys on that team, John Kelly and my dad, who scholarship to Notre Dame. Think about that. They won across the board, because back then, and even when I was in school, you played all 3.
Mm-hmm.
But then in his senior year at Notre Dame, Pearl Harbor happens. And like a lot of our great ancestors, he went immediately and joined the Navy. He flew PBYs out in World War II. And he's a war hero. He's decorated 2 Medal of Honors. Just very proud of being able to educate the students of St. Mary's and the borough of Rutherford as to what a great man he is.
Awesome. And I have to ask you, Coach Johnson obviously coached with you. You coached Coach Johnson. What do you see the direction of the program under Coach Johnson?
There's a new vibe in St. Mary's High School. You could feel it in the hallways. And it's his energy. You know, Kurt, he's a bundle of energy. And that has transcended into the students of St. Mary's. Our enrollment is up again for the 2nd year in a row. The school is just had excitement about it. And, you know, people understand when you're a football school and a sports-oriented school, that program needs to win. And these kids are really excited. They've played since they're young, and it's still a rebuild. I talked to Coach Johnson yesterday. I said, you got to be patient.
Yep.
You know, it's not going to happen overnight.
But we always say, Jen and I always say, best guy to do this. You can't get somebody better than Coach Johnson, because, like you said, the energy, the kids love him, and he's a St. Mary's guy. You know,
he is the guy. I mean, we had some good coaches in between, but they just didn't have the attraction that he brings.
Yep.
You know, he's known throughout the whole area here, and that's why kids are coming again. And it's a matter of time. And I just dropped off T-shirts. It's called the Resurrection of St. Mary's Football.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to get you guys.
I was going to say, I hope Jen has some money on me. We got to get one.
You know, it's just all things are falling into place. And, you know, hopefully today we can get that W, that 2nd W. And these kids are working so hard. You know, it's hard to keep.
Well, before we get your pick, when we first came here, I said to Jen, and Jen did a great job. I said, I need a picture with the 2006 championship banner over there. So you will see me posting a championship banner pic in a little bit. But again, it was an honor coaching with you. I loved it. I'm not going to lie. Today, like when you don't coach more, you come down today and you're like, oh, man, I said to Jen, I want my play sheet. Get me on the scaffold, and I'm ready to go. But it's an honor, obviously, to coach with you. You're a legendary head coach. And, you know, it's always great when you join our show, because the knowledge you have, you know, and even Jen says, like, I would love to play for Coach Johnson, love to play for Coach Sheridan. And it's true. You guys are alike like that. You guys really are.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, you guys have done a fantastic job with this show, because as I turned 65 and I'm looking for a second job, you beat me to the punch.
There you go.
I'd love to do a show
bring
like
in part of the team. Let's go. Jen got some all-in shirts.
You got a great show here. I really love watching it. And I want to give him vibes. He was the best offensive coordinator at St. Mary's.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
We won the state championship because he took the shot.
That's it.
Okay.
Stretch option past 80, baby. Let's go.
That was it.
Let's go. No, but it was it was an awesome time coaching with you. We talk about how many times, Jen, she could say, like, we talk about this. And the best was I called Coach the other day. And I said this before we get his pick. I said, Coach, listen, I need some more offensive time. I said, I need, and your answer was, Take the whole day. No, you got take the whole day. Just don't worry about the defense. We'll just take the whole day. It's defense. Come on.
Defense. Read your keys and get
That's
to the ball.
it. We got to work on plays. All right. So last thing, Coach, and again, thank you for joining us. What's your pick? Who's your pick for today?
You know, this Hawthorne team, I remember Hawthorne when I was in junior football. They got a great tradition in football in that town. Tough kids. It's going to be a war. Of course, I was watching game day and Joe Namath was the pick.
Yeah.
He said we were playing the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm still picking Alabama.
Yeah.
I said the same thing. I don't care who we're playing today. I'm picking the Gaels.
There you go, Coach Sheridan. Thank you so much for
You're
coming
welcome.
and talking. And again, congratulations with your naming the field for your dad. And we'll be back when they officially have the ceremony and stuff. Well, obviously, we'll cover that. But tradition, great honor, and the legendary Coach Mike Sheridan.
Thank you, Kurt.
Thank you, Coach.
Great show.
Thank you. All right, we will bring Jen back in now. We have roughly 7 to 10 minutes. What else do we have to do, Jen?
Well, we got to get your keys to the game. I want to officially.
And there's
Coach
Dennis
Sheridan.
Holt saying, "Here comes a homer pick. Go Gaels." So, thanks for checking in, Dennis. And again, we love having ex-head coaches, ex-players, but a legendary head coach with Coach Sheridan. It was just unbelievable. All right, Jen. So what's next?
Your keys to the game. Let's start with Hawthorne's keys to the game.
Hawthorne's keys to the game. And just like Coach Sheridan said, this Hawthorne team they're good, they're physical, and they want to run the ball. From watching a couple of films, they like spreading you a little bit. They'll go with the 3 receiver set, but don't get confused. They want to go and run the ball. Cormac Smith is their guy, 17 carries, 101 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's the key to this team. Obviously, a quarterback, Tyler Menny, dual kid, 2 touchdowns rushing, also threw 8 for 17 last week. So they can throw the ball. But I think what Coach Pissarro said was they don't want to get in a shootout with St. Mary's. I think St. Mary's is better athletically. They want to, I think, slow the game down, run the ball, and make it a lower scoring game.
All right, and St. Mary's keys to victory today.
Listen, it's almost the same thing, right? What did Coach what did Coach Breslin say today? Are we going to see the Gael sweep? Yeah, we're going to see the Gael sweep. That's what they want to do. St. Mary's has athletes all over the field. We said Murkison, Owens, Kazir White, Brad Higgins throwing it around. When you can run the ball, and now you have to put these extra guys in the box and, bring the safeties up, and now you have a Kazir White outside. Forget about it. How are you covering that? So I think keys to the game for St. Mary's, again, establish that run game, get those athletes in the open field, and, hey, make it a little high, listen, get into the high scoring games. I think the difference is, Hawthorne wants to say 3-4 yards. St. Mary's also will say, well, take 3-4 yards, but we also want those 40, 50, and 60-yard bursts by those players.
I think that's an interesting point because that was something we asked the St. Mary's players about, taking advantage of those big
shots,
opportunities, right? But also that Coach Pissarro pointed out, not allowing them to have those, so I would say that they're in agreement about that. Before we go officially, we are going to make our picks, but we have 2 more games that were on our slate today. So we have DePaul and St. Peter's Prep are playing. So just to review, we did this on Tuesday. We'll just give a recap.
I'll go first. Listen, DePaul, blew that game. Coach Nick Campanelli, said he's sick about it. It was the worst game he's ever lost. They had a big lead over that team, and listen, they let it get away. St. Peter's Prep graduated a lot of kids, a little more on the younger side, and they're struggling a little. I think wrong place, wrong time for St. Peter's today. I think DePaul not only beats them, Jen, I think DePaul puts it on them.
All right. Well, you know what? I have DePaul as well. I think DePaul bounces back today. Our other game, Saturday game on the slate before we get to our pick for today, is Don Bosco at St. Joe's of Montvale.
Yeah, listen, this is a big game. This is the biggest game, probably, obviously we had the game last night in Florida, but the Jersey game, 2 ranked teams in the state. And, St. Joe's the past couple of years haven't been able to beat the big boys. St. Joe's defense the past couple of years, the problem has been they've been scoring. They can't stop anybody. First 2 games this year, though, Jen, their defense has looked rock solid. Now, it's a different animal because you're going to have Don Bosco coming into St. Joe's. But I think the difference is, Jen, it's at St. Joe's. You're going to have that crowd there. This is probably the biggest game for St. Joe's in easily the last 3 years, 2-3 years. And I think that's the difference. I think, and want to give a shout out again, also worked with Coach Drew Gibbs, rest in peace, Coach Gibbs, but his son, the offensive coordinator now, Brian Gibbs, I think they put their points. I think obviously Bosco is going to try to not make it a shootout. They're going to try to make it ugly, be physical, but I just think too much at home, too much at stake, Jen, for St. Joe's. I'm going to take St. Joe's.
Well, this is one where again, so in the standings, it could come down to a game like this today. But I'm giving the edge to Bosco, even though they're on the road today. Again,
Kenny's
those
saying,
teams
"Oh, I'm sorry."
playing big games against each other, week after week after week. Go ahead.
Kenny's pick is in. St. Mary's low scoring 13-7. Long
All
drives, wears Hawthorne defense, and wins in the fourth quarter.
All right. And how about your prediction?
Kenny's also saying Bosco. My prediction, Jen, is listen, am I a homer for you? Probably. But you have two really good teams, okay? Hawthorne, very physical. St. Mary's is always physical, but St. Mary's has the better athletes, I believe. And when I say better athletes, I mean like more of them. I kind of agree with Kenny. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game because what Hawthorne's going to want to do is, just like Coach Purcell said, I'm going to take that big play away. So maybe they say, hey, go 4, go 5. We'll give you 6. We don't want to give you 30, but what is that going to do? It's going to run the clock. It's going to shorten the game. So I'm with 100% with Kenny. This is going to be a lower scoring game. But the thing is, when you say lower scoring game, how much can they stop the St. Mary's offense? I'm going St. Mary's, dear to my heart. I'm going to take St. Mary's in a lower scoring game, almost like Kenny. I'm going to say 27-20. That's still pretty high, but I'm saying 27-20. 2 big plays. I mean, 2 over 50-yard touchdown runs for St. Mary's is the difference. 27-20
That's
St.
a
Mary's.
big, bold prediction right there. Maybe I'm caught up in the,
Hoopla?
Yeah, you know what? It's just the energy here that we've been talking about. I think it's going to be a close contest for sure. I'm actually going kind of right in the middle, but Kenny has a little low scoring, you have a little higher scoring, kind of right in the middle of you guys. But I think it's going to be a grind out game from start to finish. I think it's going to be close the whole way through. But I'm giving the edge to the Gaels in their home opener this season. So there we have it.
Listen,
first game day in the books.
Great job,
been
Jenny.
Fun. Once again, thank you to everyone here. Coach Johnson for his time and help. Coach Passaro, the St. Mary's players, Coach Sheridan for sitting in with us and giving us a little. It's always nice to hear. I love hearing that, the background story. And a little side note, he mentioned Pearl Harbor. We were just there when we were in Hawaii.
Yep.
So to hear that. So
and a great family accomplishment with the field being named Philip Sheridan
100%,
Senior Field.
Love that history, part of history here for
and again, one more thing, like I said, thank you to the sponsors.
Yes.
Everybody, please look out for all in on St. Mary's, all in on Beckton Sports, all in. We're going to have West Essex, Kearney, Ramsey, Nutley, Irvington.
Hopefully coming soon. Yep.
We'll see where we wind up next week.
With our
game
picks.
day.
Yep.
Not our picks, with our game day.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Good luck to both teams.